Welcome to our mini lecture on negative feedback and what it is. Okay, so when we talk about negative feedback, what we're really talking about is how we maintain something we call homeostasis. Homeostasis is really just a state of having a balance inside of the body. And almost everything inside of your body has a balance, whether it is your temperature that stays relatively the same, your pulse rate that stays relatively the same, your blood pressure that stays relatively the same. Our body is sort of set to have this homeostasis associated with most of the parts of you, and it's having that nice little balance. So I've given an example here. Our blood sugar, when we are fasting, meaning not eating generally for 8 to 12 hours, should be somewhere between 70 and 100 milligrams per deciliter. So if you're just looking at a raw number, it's just important to know this. We don't want our blood sugar to be too high. We also don't want it to be too low, right? The body gets sick in both sets of situations. And so homeostasis really is between the 70 and 100. And it's that just right scenario. I always think Goldilocks. We want it just right, not too much, not too little, and that's what makes our body happy. So how do we actually accomplish this in the body? And what does that mean in terms of negative feedback and how that helps us keep in this just right category? So we're going to take both situations a little bit separately. However, when we eat food, within about 30 to 60 minutes, our food gets broken down, and one of the components that's made is sugar, and that sugar gets pulled out of the digestive tract, so the stomach and the small intestine, and starts to go into our bloodstream. Our blood sugar is going to raise up. Okay, this is a normal post-eating situation. What we don't want is for that blood sugar to stay high, because if it stays high for more than a short period of time, that is going to create some problems inside of our body. So we need to have a way to deal with that excess sugar. News is that we have this organ, the pancreas, that produces a hormone for us. That hormone is insulin. When our sugar starts to go up from any of the foods that we have eaten, insulin is released at higher levels, taking that sugar out of the bloodstream, storing it away as a chemical we call glycogen. It is stored away a little bit in your liver and a lot in your muscles. Okay, so we're essentially taking it out of the bloodstream and putting it into a better storage site where we can handle it. And your blood sugar is going to naturally come back down to our normal homeostasis. Okay, so now we are back at normal levels thanks to insulin and the pancreas. Because you can't eat continuously through the day, you really do need sugar at all times. So at times when you aren't actively eating or haven't just eaten in the last hour, your blood sugar is actually going to get a little bit low because you're using it up for energy as part of that process. So your blood sugar goes down. And again, if you're not quite between that 70 and 100 milligrams per deciliter range, you really aren't in homeostasis. Most of us have had some low blood sugar. It leaves you with a little bit of a headache and not feeling so well. Is that the pancreas comes along again and releases a second hormone. And this time, because our blood sugar is a little bit too low, it releases a hormone we call glucagon. Glucagon is the hormone that is going to take all of that glycogen that we have stored away inside the liver and the muscles from when we ate prior, and insulin stored it away, and it's going to actually pull it out of those locations and put it back into the bloodstream, thereby keeping us in that nice, normal level. So again, we are back up to normal. We are back up to what we call homeostasis, or in a very happy level of blood sugar control. this process is in one singular picture. So if we start on the left side of this diagram, again, this snack makes our blood sugar go up. That is not homeostasis. So insulin is then released. The sugar is stored away. However, over time, when you're not actively eating, your blood sugar will go back down. Remember, we had that second hormone from the pancreas called glucagon, which takes that stored sugar or glucose. It's released back into the bloodstream, causing your blood sugar to go up. And so essentially, when we're talking about negative feedback, what we're really talking about here is keeping a tight control. And we just talked about one aspect here, but we're keeping a very tight control on this blood sugar. This is the same with everything from your pulse, your temperature, right? If you took your temperature through the course of the day, you might go up a very small amount, but it's not going to go up dramatically. It's not going to drop dramatically. Negative feedback is really this process by which we keep us happy and in homeostasis, so that when something goes up, we have a way to bring it back down. When it goes down, we have a way to bring it back up.